We dive in now to our first topic of conversation here on the show. And ESPN, worldwide leader in sports, on Sunday released its Football Power Index. And the FPI it put out was one on predicting the wins for the schools, the programs in the SEC. And for Alabama, it's predicted Alabama to win 10.9 games. So basically 11 games this season. Now, with football having a 12-game regular season, ESPN predicting 10.9, 11 wins, the question is, where does the loss come in for the Crimson Tide? If you see a loss on Alabama's schedule, where does the defeat, where does the stumble, where does the blemish come in at? Because just on the surface here, though Alabama has a couple of question marks going into the upcoming venue, there are other teams in the conference that have way more glaring questions than the Crimson Tide. First and foremost, we look at the Georgia Bulldogs under head coach Kirby Smart. You've got to replace Jake Fromm at quarterback. You've got to replace DeAndre Swift and Brian Herrien at the running back position. You no longer have Lawrence Cager, Tyler Simmons, Chad Werner as receiving options. On defense, Tyler Clark gone, J.R. Reed gone. So there's quite a bit here to replace for Georgia. And one of the things on the mind of Kirby Smart is Jamie Newman the guy? Jamie Newman, of whom he comes over from Wake Forest, the graduate transfer, a guy that's a dual threat quarterback. But is he the guy? Does he have the ability and the capability? Does he have the intelligence, the intangibles, the instincts to finally get Coach Smart and the Bulldogs over that hump in terms of toppling Alabama, toppling Nick Saban, and winning a national championship? Is the move of getting Scott Cochran away from Alabama to Athens, Georgia, was that the move to possibly get the Bulldogs to a national championship? So some question marks there in line for Kirby Smart. When you look at Ed Orgeron and the LSU Tigers after a magical season this past year, Ed O has to do it all over again. You lose a longtime defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda. You lose your passing game coordinator in Joe Brady. Not to mention you lose 14 to 15 guys to the NFL draft, including one Joe Burrow. So now you have to fill in a whole bunch of spots. And can Coach Orgeron do that? Can he replace what he lost? Can LSU reload? One thing we know about programs like Alabama, like Clemson, like Ohio State, these programs are known for reloading. Yes, these particular venues will lose talent to the NFL every single year, but they're known for reloading. For Coach O, lost a lot of talent to the draft, lost two very, very good coaches. Will he be able to reload? That's the question there for Ed O. As we move on down to Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin, we know offensively what Ole Miss is. I mean, they put up 31 points on Alabama this past season. They scored points on LSU with John Rice Plumlee at quarterback, Jerry and Ely at running back. They've got offensive talent. And the Grove will be a crazy, hostile, rambunctious place to play at. The question for the Rebels will be defensively. What will they look like under Coach McIntyre with you lost Freddie Roach, a great defensive line coach, an outstanding recruiter to the University of Alabama, Benito Jones gone, Josiah Coatney gone. What will the Rebels look like on the defensive side of the football? Because they did give up 59 points to Alabama. It did give up quite the amount of points to LSU. So defensively, what will the Rebels look like? Question mark there. And then you go down to the Tennessee Volunteers under Jeremy Pruitt, and this would be the game that I'm going to be honest, I'm nervous about this game. I'm nervous about the Tennessee matchup in the upcoming season just due to Jeremy Pruitt is doing a bang-up job on the recruiting trail. For 2020 class, he brought in the number 10 class nationally, which included Harrison Bailey, the high 4-star quarterback. And then he's already started the 2021 regime, having the number 2 class in the country thus far. So Pruitt is putting his hand in the ground. Pruitt is really hitting that recruiting trail hard. And here is somebody that you go back to last season. Tennessee gave Alabama one of its toughest, hardest challenges in 2019. And just talent-wise inside Bryant-Denny, no way in the world Tennessee should be on the same field as Alabama. No way in the world talent-wise, because Crimson Tide had the far more superior talent, but Jeremy Pruitt, his ability to coach and get the utmost out of his guys and develop his guys was proven very highly, in the football game. Tennessee's defense affected Tua Tagovailoa, forced a bad interception. Tua got hurt in the football game. The Volunteers were able to move the football offensively. If not for, a bad break here, a tough situation there, a bad break there, who knows how the game could have ended, because I saw, because I was at this game, I saw a lot of Vols fans leave Bryant-Denny going, I like what we have in Jeremy Pruitt. Did we lose? Heck yeah. But we didn't get blown out. We were competitive. We played it down to the wire. We had Bama fans a little bit nervous. We had Nick Saban a little bit nervous. If we would have had this break to go right, that ball to bounce our way, some other situations to go in our favor, who knows what could have happened. We are very excited with what we've got in Jeremy Pruitt. So Tennessee fans left Bryant-Denny really happy about themselves and about the program. And you look at this upcoming season, you go up to Knoxville. Alabama goes up to Neyland Stadium. This will be one where it will be a very highly intriguing, highly entertaining football game. Now, am I saying Alabama loses this football game? No, because Tennessee has question marks in its own right that it's got to answer. But just seeing how Pruitt recruits, just seeing how people, players, young men love to go out there on the field with Jeremy Pruitt. I know Butch Jones recruited well at Tennessee. I know he was able to get the talent in Rocky Top. But the difference between Coach Jones and Coach Pruitt, Pruitt knows how to work the genuine relationships with players. He knows how to pick and push the right button to get everybody to get on that field and to give their 100% maximum effort. He did it in the high schools he coached in the state of Alabama. He did it for the Crimson Tide defense. Of course, you guys saw how dominant that 2016 defense was. The reason why it was that dominant, Jeremy Pruitt was the defensive coordinator in 2016. He was also the defensive coordinator in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So, we know what Pruitt's capable of. And another thing about Pruitt and his relationship with players, his third child, his son, was named after 2 Alabama linebackers. His son was named Flint Anderson Foster Pruitt. Jeremy Pruitt named this child, his boy Flint, after Reuben Foster and Ryan Anderson. That's all you need to know when you talk about the relationships this man has built with players, how players want to play for him, how they will run through a brick wall for him, how he vibes with those guys. When you name your child, when you name your offspring, when you name the fruit of your loins after 2 former Alabama linebackers, you got some serious chemistry in terms of players. So that will be an interesting matchup between Alabama and Tennessee. But the question here, Tide fans, if you see a loss on the schedule, ESPN apparently sees a blemish. 10.9 wins, 11 wins for Alabama according to the Football Power Index. So if you see a loss, because just off the surface, folks, I don't see one. Does Alabama have question marks? It's got 1 or 2, like a lot of teams do. But there are glaring question marks when you discuss Georgia, LSU, Arkansas. You got to wonder, do the Hogs have the horses to run with Alabama? Mississippi State, it's going to be Mike Leach's his first year. He doesn't have all the offensive talent, may have to lean on the run game with Kylan Hill coming out of the backfield. Defensively, they've got some playmakers, but we'll just have to see how they buy into Leach's system, Leach's scheme. And then you look at Auburn. The question always for Auburn is, can Gus Malzahn get out of his own way and allow the offensive coordinator to call the plays, which is right now, that's a big fat no, because you remember, Coach Malzahn said, I got into football. I got into college football to call plays, and I'm not happy. I'm not content. I feel happy. I feel content when I am calling the plays from the offensive perspective. So, Tiger fans would hope that they can see Bo Nix take that next step from his freshman to a sophomore year in learning from one Chad Morris, who will be the offensive coordinator. But the question mark, once again, is Gus Malzahn willing? Gotta be willing. Is he willing to relinquish the play calling duties and to have Chad Morris do this thing? So, Tide fans, question is on you here as we come back from the first break. If you see a loss, if there's an Alabama loss on the schedule in your mind, if there's a blemish, if there's a hiccup, if there's a stumbling block, if there's a roadblock, where could the loss come from? ESPN, FPI says Alabama winning 10.9 games, 11 wins this season. So if you see a loss, Tide Nation, talk to me. Where could that loss come from? Because on the offset, I don't see it as of right now. But we're going to go to our first break here on In My Own Words, the podcast, hottest show on the streets. Upon our return, we will take on your phone calls, tweets, text messages, thoughts, questions, and concerns right after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in the Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.